All right, we're going to get started here. Looks like we're live. Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So we're going to get started. I see. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see two guests. Put it in the chat here. Welcome, welcome, Jim. I sent you an email. Welcome, community member, guest. This is your hour of power. This is where problem gamblers unite, right here. Coach Santos, Stockton, California. It looks like Coach Jim is with us for a little bit. Heightened slots. Wow. 7-day challenge is still on. We don't have a topic tonight. We do have a proverb. I do have a proverb I want to bring to you, but I want to see what you have in the comment section tonight here. Let me turn this down a little bit. Might be a little bit too loud. Keep it playing in the background for just a little bit. By the way, I am Coach Santos out of Stockton, California, founder of the Soldiers of Self-Mastery Movement. This is the Hour of Power. You've come here. I hope that you leave this different. I hope. I dare you. You come here and you leave different. I dare you to leave different. I challenge you to leave different. So if you have a question, you have an observation, you've got something going on, you're looking for a place to hang out for a little bit, find something. Somebody said, Santos, help me. I turned around and said, how? All right. So if you have a question, please. All right. This hour of power is going to go by very quick. So make sure you're in. Turn down the distractions. Grab a pen. Don't become a hen. In other words, no chickens here. Grab a pen, take some notes. Hey, I'm just inviting you to just take advantage of this time that we have, this hour of power, mind optimizing, spirit recalibrating. Are you aware that gambling and addiction and when you have it bad, it changes you. You become a different person. You're not the same. No, no, you're not. Artificial intelligence, computers, the numbers, the bells and whistles, and all of that excitement, especially the money excitement. You become a different person. Yes, you do. And then you have to go back to MPC to become the right person. So I'm glad you're here. I hope you're taking notes. And I hope that you listen, friend, to stay free. PNGZ. All right, who's with me? I did send, let me see the invite. I've got a video we're going to watch here, folks. Listen, some of you guys are just plain bored listening to me. So I'm going to play a video and I'm going to do my best to answer your questions. Jim's going to be with us. Hopefully, maybe he'll get on the camera. Let me see here. By the way, today is, what is today? Today's the 15th. Man, didn't we just like go into this month like a couple days ago? It feels like we just went in a couple days ago and we're already like Almost at the end already. Is it just me? All right, let me see here. Yes, it does. Titan Slots says it does. Good evening. Hi, everyone. Ken, welcome to be here. I'm excited to be here for a little bit. Got no Red Bull tonight. A little bit of orange juice with some pulp. Yeah, some orange juice with some pulp. Hi, Laura. And by the way, the 7-day challenge is still on, folks. If you're not too chicken, I don't mean that in a bad way, but you need to be challenged. Gambler, the machine, those machines are challenging you, yes, but you need to be challenged in other ways. Ken says another 7-day challenge. There we go, right on. Yes. So we have a proverb. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? By the way, man, we're live Facebook. Shout out to Facebook. Um, Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to LinkedIn. LinkedIn, thank you for being with us here. By the way, how long does it really take to change you as a person? Does it take 3 months? Does it take 3 months? 3, 6 months, 12 months to change you when you begin doing something that is fun? Yeah, I'm going to write numbers with the guys out or the girls out. You know what I'm saying? You get excited. I believe it's less than 3 months. You begin to get rewired. So online versus physically going to the casino, which one's worse? Which one will program you faster? Online gambling and scrambling and betting, stuff like that, Ladbrokes, or going to the physical place and betting and doing the numbers and hitting the machines and doing all that kind of. Which one is going to change, rewire? Which one's going to rewire your brain, your subconscious, your emotional intelligence faster? Think about this with me here. All right, I'm looking for questions. I have a proverb coming up here. And did I post? Yes, I did post. Didn't I post that? Let me see. Invite. What happened? Copy. Didn't I? Did I not send it? Copy. Okay. Let me see. Paste. Is it not letting me do it? Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah. So you're welcome. Anybody on here that wants to come on the camera, you can come on the camera, share your story, whatever's good in your life. You want to share an observation, a POI, a point of interest, a victory. You want to share a story. If not, I'm not going to bore you tonight here on this broadcast. If you don't have a question, we're going to go into a video. We're going to just listen to a man that lost. Well, he didn't lose himself, but almost. Kind of interesting. I came across him and I'm going to share him here 15, 20 minutes. Welcome to join. Ask a question. We'll stop the program. We'll stop the video. If you want to get into it with me, you want to get into a dialogue with Jim, you want to ask us something, you got something going on, we can work together. We can brainstorm. We can figure something out. Hopefully make your night a lot better. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. That's my ironclad guarantee to you tonight on this broadcast. I hope somebody challenges me where my brain begins to like smoke, like a question that would be so um all right, here we got Jim on board here. So testing, we're good.
Hi there, Santos. Good evening.
All right. Can you guys hear? Are we picking up good on the? Let me see. I've got a little bit of a different setup here today, so my audio. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
Hi, yes. Can you hear me? My computer finally worked. So, yeah. Can you hear me, Santos?
Yep,
Okay, good.
loud and clear.
Okay, yeah. So, you said that there's not much of a topic today. I was thinking about the
No.
idea of flipping, you know, the topic of gambling around. It's like, what if gambling could be a positive thing? What do I mean by that? Um, Maybe we can go ahead and kind of narrow it down, refine the word gambling. Maybe we can go and talk about risk taking in life. Risk taking in life. Can risk taking in life be a positive thing? And what prevents us from taking, good risks? What are good risks? I mean, what are the risks of not taking the leap? What are the risks? What are the consequences of not gambling, on the good stuff in life? What prevents us from taking those risks? You know, we've been talking a lot about, you know, the bad things of gambling, throwing money at things based upon boredom. It could be based upon troubles that we're having, you know, uh, emotionally. Um, but what if we started talking about taking risks in a good way? I mean, and what are the things that prevent us from taking good risks? What are good risks, right?
Yeah.
And I think it has something to do with like feelings, right? Feelings. You know, it could be also about how we see ourselves. It's like, oh no, I can't take that risk. I'm not going to be able to make it. Oh no, it's too painful. It's going to hurt, right? Uh, I have doubt. I done it before. I'm just going to fail again, right? So I'm not going to go ahead and risk my time, my effort, my energy on doing something, that could possibly be good, right? So I'm just going to just not do anything. I'm going to go to my comfort zone of my addiction. I'm going to go to the comfort zone of my addiction. And that's not good, right? So I think it's important to address, why aren't we taking positive risks? And maybe we can go and start programming our mind to say, you know what, I'm going to start taking risks. Risks are good in my life. And it's not that bad. It's not going to be that bad if I take the risk. Preparing our minds for taking a risk. All right. What's the worst that can happen, right? What's the worst that can happen if we take a positive risk on ourselves, right? We do it and say, hey, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad. And our tolerance, can build up. I think about running, right? I think about running. I do something each year called the turkey trot, and that's a 5K run, right? And when I first thought about it, it's like, oh, 5K, that's a lot. I gotta really train myself. It's like, gosh, I don't know if I can do this, right? But once I did it and once I prepared for it, it's like 5K is nothing. It's nothing, you know? So your confidence in yourself, your mindset on the same activity, right? It changes, right? And it's like it's something that you can go ahead and conquer and have control over. And yeah, I mean, I think a key is how do we program our mind, so that we can connect, positive feelings, you know, with the courage, with the motivation to move us in that right direction. Whatever it is. I mean, it's like maybe we're trying to find a job, right? Maybe we're trying to find a job, and just like, gosh, that's a big risk right there. It's like applying for a job, putting time, effort, and energy into in a new career or something like that. What are the risks right there? The risk is you don't get it. The risk is you you know maybe you'll feel ashamed of yourself if you don't get the job. You get devastated. You know, how do we go ahead and fight that? You know, it's preparation right there. It's really preparation. You know, and I think we talked about this before, setting up a plan. You know, planning things out, seeing stuff, planning things out, you know, and taking action on it, you know, and you
Yeah.
know, saying what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? You know, it's really not that bad. It's not that bad. You know, you know, if you once you start doing it, you find it's not that bad. Things are not that bad. Um, but yeah,
What I say, what risk, it's interesting we're talking about this subject. I'm looking at the comments here also. Um, but what risk is important at the time to be taken by the individual has to be determined. That's interesting. Um, we don't look at it as a risk. Maybe we think a goal, right? We're thinking a goal, but a goal can be a risk also. So we might not be thinking risk, but we're thinking a goal. What should I be doing? What should I said this the other day? If you don't know what your mission is, right? If you don't know what your mission is in life, if you don't really have a strong idea, your mission is actually finding it. So for many gamblers that are gambling, that's not their mission, obviously, or whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be gambling. So what if you took the risk on finding that other thing that's going to give you the true peace, the true joy, the true income? It's going to give you the high that you really want, the challenge that you're really looking for, instead of artificial intelligence. I'm going to ask this question again. How fast do we get rewired doing something physically or just mentally? Like, you know, but again, the risk, what is the risk? What is your risk, right? You got to ask yourself the question. I think I asked myself that question. What am I mean, I want to read something before I go on because times are changing really quick. I mean, just over the last couple of weeks, a lot of events have been taking place. That's going to impact all of us. So, um, yeah, risks, gambles, or the proper gamble. Um, you need to be making sure that you're doing your homework because if you take a risk without, it's like, again, it's just then you're gambling. That's foolish. This is Second Timothy chapter 3 says, this also, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear what just going to read this, just to read another part of this. But listen to what this is saying in comparison to what's happening all around us. And we are looking at this subject of taking risks, Jim, the gamble, the risk. That For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. I don't know about when I read that, it's like sometimes I see myself in there because I'm not a church person, but I read the Bible and I want truth, man. I want some clarity in my life. I gotta have some direction. I gotta know. I gotta know. I am gonna take some risks, but I gotta know. And to me, I find a lot of comfort in the scriptures and in prayer. Again, I'm not a church person. That's how I kind of identify the things in my life. and of course, I do a lot of writing, but it's challenging, man, for anybody in these days, in these times that we're in. Are you there, Jim?
Yeah. So, in regards to, I mean, like, think about this. I mean, just the word risk, right? Risk has a negative connotation because it's all about, what are we, what are we going to lose? What are we going to lose? And it puts us in that fear mindset, right? Puts us in that fear mindset on the defensive. I think about a guy who's, looking for a girl, right? And we've all seen this, like, in the movies, where a guy, is like, he doesn't care, what are the consequences of how the women will react to him. He does his thing, and if a woman, doesn't like him, he shrugs it off and he moves on to the next woman, right? I mean, there's a lot to be said about not tying yourself so much on the let down. All right. Because the guy, has a goal, right? He has a goal. He's looking for a mate, right? And he's not worrying about the other stuff. And I don't know. I mean, like, we're all wired differently, right? Some people can jump out of an airplane, climb a building, without any kinds of rope, right? And their makeup, right? Their nervous system is just set up differently. People are different, right? And we're all wired differently. Some people have a high tolerance for risk, I guess you can say, and that it doesn't bother them. Some people, it freaks them out. It freaks them out, that anxiety. So but if you can go and turn it around, and think about, it's like, well, what do I have to lose? What do I have to gain? What's the worst that can happen? And you kind of dampen the bad stuff. It's like, what, it's not that too bad. I can gain more. You know, will I lose rejection? Yeah. Well, then what? So what? Right? So what? Okay, not that bad. Not that bad. You know. But it's something that we have to practice, I guess. Something that we have to practice and constantly talk to ourselves about. You were talking about the problems that the world was having. I mean, their focus is on something that's wrong, on hedonistic kinds of things. I mean, their stuff is on pleasure. Their stuff is on, like, and it could be like the comfort zone too. The comfort zone could be pleasure, right? Because they don't have anything else that's higher. I mean, like, as far as values. It's like, take as much as you can because I want to go ahead and look the best on social media. I want to be the most popular person. I want to have all those kinds of accolades. For what, right? For what, right? um, you know and it's unfortunate that those kinds of things happen. um, and like, I guess religion, God, can really humble yourself and ground yourself to what's really important. What's really important. I mean, are the number of likes you get, you know the thing that you should uh, like, base your life upon every day, making those decisions, lie, cheat, and steal, be deceptive, just for those likes, popularity for the money. If you
Those
really
are
think
all
about it.
risks.
Yeah.
Those are all gambles that people are taking. I see this. I'm seeing changes on the platforms online. How they'll silence you. I know I've had it happen to me. YouTube has been pretty good to me. YouTube has, but there's another social media site that I spend a little bit of time on, and I'm starting to realize that I can they've done bad, at least by me. I think. Uh, Anyhow, taking risks and again, why I ask myself, why are we here? What are we doing here? We spent 35, 45 minutes here. I'm I'm seeking, I'm taking risks in many different ways too. Not only that, I'm looking at the financial aspect of what's going on. Um, everybody has, I know it's like I'm not here to tell you what to do, but we all have to start really thinking about the financial system that we're a part of. And then on top of that, if you're doing something else with your money that you shouldn't be doing, and maybe you should be investing your money in something right now instead of, what you're doing, investing it in something. I don't know what it might be for you. I don't know. I know what it might be for me, but you're taking your money and you're being rewired. You're taking the wrong risk when you need to be taking the right risk. It's fun. It's challenging. See, that's what all this junk does to you. It rewires your mind so that you can't think right. Then you stumble across a video like this, and you're sitting there thinking, and you got cognitive dissonance going on. Jim, you talked about our emotional. We are emotional creatures also. Our emotional intelligence has been impacted in many different ways. So either you're building your emotional intelligence or you're just continually letting it get broke down.
Yeah, Santos, it really bothers me that if you, maybe I'm just confused, maybe I just don't know, maybe I'm just ignorant. But I mean, we have certain values, and this money system that we're in order to have money, in order to be successful, keep your value, I feel that you have to go out and play the game of the evil people. You have to play the game of the evil people. The evil people control this money system. I think about the United States treasuries, the 10 years. The value of those treasuries were just tanking, 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 tanking. And that's bad news. And you know what? What's the best way to stop that from happening? Oh, let's start a war. Let's go ahead and start a war. And I'm thinking, my gosh, you got to go ahead and know how the evil people act, and control the money system, so that you don't get fried, or so you can go ahead and make money. And that it really that's a real turnoff. And for me, it's hard to go and like control my emotions. Say, oh, okay, let me just go ahead and play their evil game. I'm just going to go and buy into their evil game, and it's so bothersome. But what are we going to do? It's almost like I'm in prison, like in a concentration camp, and have to play the game of the my captors. It's
I think
frustrating.
I think we're being distracted, Jim. And for instance, I'm going to make a little statement here. There's a group of 7 or 8 of us here. There's people that are watching. They're not going to get involved. And I think to myself, okay, this is the episode number 233. So I've been doing this for a few episodes. And I come here and I say, well, I don't know how many people really think like I do. I'm not expecting anybody to become like me because that's impossible. That's ridiculous. You have to become you. Now, I can share some ideas with you. You can share ideas with me. But we can come together as a small group of people and we can come up with something as a group of people, as a little team, and we can create income. We can manufacture something. We can barter. There's all kinds of things that we can do as a little group, but instead, something, some force will have you distracted so that you can't really develop what it is that you have. I see that gambling, different things. Listen, I, I'm not saying we all have addictions to some degree, but when those things are getting in the way of your life, when they're interfering in your life, you must put a stop. You got to take the risk that we're talking about here. to do the right thing because we know what's going to happen if you don't. You must, right? I had to. And if you're here, we're here. We need, there's something that we should be doing. All of us, there's something that we should be doing, not just the 7 day challenge. You know, maybe somebody here has a great idea. You're holding on to it. We need to find a way to bring that idea. We can work together. Who knows what we can do? There might be some good allies here in this community. That's what I believe we're coming here for. I don't know what else. You know, I sometimes I'll bring a topic, I'll talk my head off, and sometimes honestly, I feel like I'm just talking too much. I don't like. I want to make sure that what I'm saying is valuable, not just to talk. You know, people want to talk, man. I get off of here. I'm going to look for ways to implement. What can I do? What can I do? God help me, lead me. I'm writing. I'm looking for ways. I'm not just here, you know, talking. Anybody can do that. Get behind the microphone and talk and just live like a devil, I guess. You know, Jim Jones kind of type person. Uh, anyhow, how did I go there?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So
so
we're pretty distracted, and I guess I mean the bottom line is it's like how can we how can we do better in life, right? Well, we have to bring value, right? We have to bring value to other people, in a way that we can make money, right? That's the key. And there's a lot of distractions out there, a lot of distractions. I think it's important to go ahead and I need to go and stop focusing on all those nonsense because it makes me negative, makes me very negative. Um,
yeah,
but the focus is on ourselves, the guy in the mirror. It's like, how can I create value for other people? How can I create value for other people? Do good for mankind, right? And if you're going to do good for mankind, right, you're going to go ahead and attract, what you need in life, right? What you need, what you're going to go ahead and get. So, yeah, um,
oh,
yeah,
wow, I'm getting. We got so caught up with Jim's topic here. Let me. I want to just put in a video here for a few minutes, guys. Hang out, gals. I see Titan, Rice Goat, Barry, who was it? Race, Laura, Mark was even in here. Listen to this guy here for just a few minutes, but don't please try not to think of the gambling aspect. Just if you can, if you will, listen to what he's saying. We're going to play maybe about 7 minutes of this clip. But don't think about gambling. Think about what else is really going on. And it could be something if you get that. Let me see if I can do this here. Did I get this? Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
Hello to all gamblers, family members, and friends. With this video, I would like to introduce myself and to motivate all of you to either stop gambling or help a gambler who you know while it is not too late.
By the way, I want to say this real quick. Listen, you guys, if you want to, and I invite other people to check out other channels. There's other people that have different mindsets, different things, and who knows, this guy here, some of these information that I share with you, anybody, my community is not it. It may be, I believe it's one of the greatest, but there's always other people that we can learn from. So let's just take a few minutes and listen
I
to
do not want to waste your time,
the video.
and English is not my native language. So I will be using my notes to keep myself short and concrete. First of all, I would like to say a few words about myself so that you know why I think I could be helpful to you. I gambled excessively more than 10 years. I was losing most of the money that I earned or managed to borrow at that time. I wasted amazing career opportunities, put myself into significant debt, My wife divorced me. Most of my family members and friends no longer wanted to communicate with me. My self confidence and self esteem was completely gone. I was extremely angry at myself and the rest of the world. I became a weak, miserable creature that no longer could be called a man or even a human being. I became something terrible. At some points, I felt so depressed, scared, lost, and lonely that I saw no other alternative than to commit suicide. Fortunately, this didn't happen. The thought that my little children would have to grow without their father and live with such loss for the rest of their lives stopped me. It stopped me from suicide, but not from further gambling. Eventually, I reached my rock bottom. It happened after 3 days gambling non-stop without taking any food until I lost the last penny I had. I felt so exhausted, so devastated, that I realized I cannot continue this anymore or I will really die. I will really die. It scared me a lot. And I chose to live. The next day, I went to Gamblers Anonymous, where I found people like me. It calmed me down. After some time, I started reading self-help books, which, in my opinion, have had the greatest impact on my recovery so far. Now, after nearly 2 years since my last bet, I feel significant positive changes in myself and my personal life. A couple of years ago, I was very close to death, and now I am full of energy and plans for the future.
Okay. We are gonna we're gonna stop there. You're welcome to check out the channel there. And I just happened to stumble across him, and I was listening to his story. Pretty interesting. We all have a story, I guess. If we hit rock bottom to a certain degree, uh, the key is, man. The key is just you gotta want it. You gotta want it. You gotta want it. Jim, you got some thoughts here. We got a few more minutes. We're gonna be. I'm
Yeah.
looking for some questions here. I'm looking for some questions. Let me turn this down a little bit here.
You know,
We're a little bit loud.
the guy turned to Gamblers Anonymous, and I
And
think
self
Gamblers,
help.
and yeah, and self help. The thing about self help, I think, I think it's missing that important part that I think the Gamblers Anonymous has. And it has that God part, because when you're doing the self help, I think self help, basically you're trying to do it on your own. The belief that you're doing stuff on your own, you have it inside you. But I mean, you have to believe that there's a higher power that's alongside you. I mean, alone, I don't think we can go and do it alone. To tell you the truth, I don't think we have it. We have to go and believe that there's a higher power that's helping us. That if we can go ahead and put our faith in that higher power, you know, it can give us that strength that goes beyond, what we give ourselves credit for, I mean, it's interesting because if you really think about it, we have something that's beyond ourselves. If we can go ahead and really think about it, that's why praying is important. speaking, talking, asking for help, meditating, that kind of stuff, and yeah, uh, I think that's a very important thing in in change. If you're going to go ahead and make that change, because it gives you confidence, it gives you belief, it gives you faith, right? And that kind of stuff, I mean, and I believe that that's what self-help just lacks. I mean, I see all these, different kinds of, and they always leave God out. They always leave that supernatural power out, and it kind of comes up short. I think it comes up short, to tell you the truth. Now, some people don't want to believe in that kind of stuff, but I mean, my gosh, you got to believe in something, right? You got to believe in
We all
something.
believe. We all
Yeah.
believe in something. We all do. We just some folks don't dig deep enough to find out what it is that you truly believe in. I don't believe in church anymore. I used to go to church. I do believe in reading the Bible. I do believe in reading. I read the King James Bible and I study it. It's what I do. It to me is like a newspaper, today's newspaper. But when I don't feel, I just go right to the scriptures, and I'm really, Jim, I'm really saying to people these days, if you're a person of prayer, if you pray, no use in being ashamed of who you really are. If you don't pray, you don't pray. If you pray, you do pray. Maybe you stop praying. I'm inviting you to pray. Get back to prayer. Uh, I call God, Jesus, the God of the Bible. I have my best conversations with Him. I hope and pray that maybe He'll have some, He might pour, maybe a little teaspoon size, I guess, teaspoon size of mercy, maybe. That would be enough for me. I don't need globs, just a little, just a drop or two. And I read, I'm comforted, because I can tell you, folks, we know there's something's not right in this world. It's not right. It's just not right. Everybody's scrambling. People are, and I've said this many times, and I believe I think very different than most people, but people are looking for answers. So you've got governments, you've got people that are being humiliated in front of hundreds and thousands of people, because now it's all audio and video. So you got interviews going on, you've got research going on, you've got people attacking people, people in high places attacking people. You see it on TV, politicians and all this stuff. And what's really strange and bizarre is that some of these people that are being accused probably really don't even have any clue of what they're being accused of. So they defend themselves any way they can. They look funny in front of people on camera. It is a horror story what I see. And a lot of these folks, some folks do have, we have the responsibility. Some folks have, they've neglected certain things. I agree. But this whole problem with money and government, and this whole thing has been going on for a long time. It's just gotten to the point now where, how much further can it go? I believe we're at a climax of something huge on this planet. I believe that, and I don't think we're far from it. I don't know how it's going to play out, but looking around and studying and all of these things, that's how I feel. So I find comfort in prayer and reading the scriptures and writing. I do a lot of writing. I write books, and some books I've written, they're not even published. I just write stuff, get it out of my head. And uh, maybe you think this way. Sometimes you're writing stuff down and you're like, or you're even saying things to yourself, right? Man, where did that come from? Where did I think about that? Or you say something to yourself and it's like, wow, you just feel so powerful because where did that come from? You heard it somewhere, or you came up with the idea, and then you try to explain that to other people, and it doesn't work. Just like what I'm trying to do here, unless you experience that for yourself. I guess they call that a deja vu. or an aha moment, eureka moment. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, we're getting ready to wind down here. I'm gonna give you here an opportunity here to share your thoughts, Jim. But we're gonna wind down here, folks. I see there's been quite a few here. Thank you to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. If you're not subscribed to this channel, I'm gonna invite you to subscribe. I'm gonna invite you to support this channel. If you feel supported, do you like to support the underdogs? Support this mission as we continue to put videos out and do whatever I can. And visit soldiersofselfmastery.com. We've got a lot going on there at that website. If you haven't been there, check it out. Check it out. Go down there, and who knows what you might find hiding somewhere in the cupboard. Go ahead, Jim. So,
Yeah. I mean, like I'm really trying to be conscientious of watching myself judge, you know, and I'm always trying to turn the tables and always say, you know what, when I judge, when I get that spur of the moment deal of judging, I really want to go and point that finger back at me and see how that reflects to my life. You know, what am I judging about myself? You know, I mean, the stupid things that people say online, the things that don't make any sense. It's like, how am I saying stupid things to myself? How am I making dumb decisions for myself and for other people? You know, it's like, yeah, that's happening in your life, Jim. If you think about it, that's happening in your life. You can go out and associate those stupid things that you're criticizing other people doing, that's happening in your life. So I think interpretation is really important on how we see things. How are we interpreting things, and kind of learn from what's going on, and how do we respond to these events? I mean, I mean, I think I said this last week. I was talking to my friend, and I was saying, what if we said that, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come in our lives. What are you talking about? You see this, you see that, you see this, all these awful things are happening, you can go ahead and focus on all that crap, right? But how can you go and turn it around and say, you know what, my life, the best is yet to come today. When I wake up in the morning, thank God for another day. You know what? Today's going to be an excellent day. Today is going to be a great day. I'm going to make this an excellent day, better than yesterday, and it's like interpreting, how we see, what's going to be happening, can really kind of change our physiology, can change our emotions, right? And we can go ahead and be aware of the garbage that's happening. But you know what, I see some YouTube stuff saying the FBI is now warning that terrorism is going to be popping. It's like, I'm thinking about that, and it's like, wow, that just seems like it's more propaganda. I don't want to buy into the
more,
propaganda. I don't want to buy into the fear, you know that
more,
kind of
more
stuff.
distraction.
Distractions, that's right. So we have to, really kind of armor our mind, to all the nonsense that we're processing, right? We're processing things on how we see ourselves, what's happening out there, the distractions, you know, um, if we really want to go and, I mean, turn our lives around, we have to look at ourselves and how are we seeing other people, how are we seeing ourselves, and where do we want to go? You talked about it before. It's like, what do we focus on? Where do we want to go? Right? Do we want to go to depression? Do we want to go towards anxiety? Do we want to go to fear? Do we want to go to, or do we want to go to a better life? Can we envision something better? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, if you really look at our lives,
Smart,
in the world, things are
smorgasbord.
miracles. Yeah. I mean, life is a miracle, really. If you really think about the processes of life, it's like, wow, how did this happen? How'd that tree grow? How am I still alive? And if that's the
You just look at
case,
yourself. You
right?
look at yourself. It's
Can't
interesting.
can't I create miracles? Can't I imagine something that's good, positive, wholesome, and create that? Hey, if all these other great things have happened, why not? Why can't I? You know, why not?
We can create. We can create. Most definitely, we can definitely create. We've been asking some great questions. Now, I'm really touched by this because, um, I don't go to church, and I just a lot of things have happened to me within the church. But here's what I do. This, if somebody says, "What God do I pray to?" Well, if there is a God, which I definitely believe 100%, if there is a God and you can just talk to him from your heart, whoever he is, invisible, some people think he's a woman or whatever. Well, according to the Bible, it's masculine. So Jesus walked the earth. He was a picture of God. He was God. The Bible says that Jesus was God. How do we figure all this out? I'm not going to try to explain it. I just talk to God and I hope that he hears me. I hope that he hears my prayers. Somehow I feel comforted in some way. I feel truth in talking to God, just like being open with him. God, I messed up. I did this. I said the wrong thing, or somebody literally, this person pissed me off, and I don't, if God is real, he's going to hear. He's going to, he's overseeing everything. Doesn't mean that he's going to answer all our prayers, right? People think God's like a genie. Oh, you pray. No, no, God is not a genie. In fact, if we're here and we have what we have, if we have some blessings, God's mercy. Because look at what's happening around the world in some other place. People hiding in bushes, getting shot by sniper rifles and all kinds of things. And we're here, but we never know how things might change. So I say, somebody says, well, go to a temple and pray, go to a stone, go to a rock, go to some jade figure, like a figure made out of jade, go pray to him. I don't, you know what? Go to the woods, cry out to the heavens, someplace out there, and God, talk to God. No trees, no t-shirts, none of that. We're sitting right here, and God, I believe God's reading all of our thoughts. I believe that. Every thought that we've got going on here, every motive is being picked up by God. That's how I believe, folks. And I'm not backing down from that at all. I'll go to my grave with my beliefs. That's what's helping me. That I believe that's what's also helped me with gambling too, and other things. Anyways, I've said enough. I'm grateful. It's been an hour of power. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We've had Jim with us. I'm going to let Jim share his last thoughts here. We've been talking about a lot of things. Wow, religion, taking risks, life, and most importantly, that you walk away with something from this broadcast. If you've been here at least 20 minutes, take something with you, please. A word, a thought, an image, maybe something the young man said in the video. Take something with you, please. All right? We're going to be back here, Lord willing, Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with another hour of power. And Jim will be with us. Hopefully, you'll be with us. We're all different, folks. I make no apologies for who I am. I'm just being real. And I'm going to continue to be real because that's what's gotten me to where I am today. And I feel great about that. So, Jim, let me have it right on the cheek, man. I'm just
Yeah, I mean, like if I mean,
not
we're
on the cheek.
talking. This channel is all about improvement, fighting addictions, right? And you have to be able to uh, love yourself enough so that you can make the necessary changes. And if you want to get religion into it, if you want to get God into it,
Glorious.
a lot of people say God is love, right? God is love, and you can pray to God and say, you know what, God, you know, how can I love myself enough that I can go ahead and get out of this situation? And you think, how, and you pray and you ask yourself, ask him, how can I love myself enough, to get this? Because you can go ahead and say that God loves you, right? If you believe that, right, you can go ahead and start loving yourself, right? And ask yourself, how do I go ahead and love myself enough to improve myself and the people around me? You know, God, love, and faith, right? Faith. Faith is that belief that it can happen. It can happen, right? So that should give you the strength and the courage to take those steps to move in the right direction, whether it be going to Gamblers Anonymous, to watch these videos, to have the courage to stay away from the casino, right? All that kind
Get,
of stuff. You start
get a
meditating,
self-help book.
reading self-help
Self-help
books,
book.
right?
You know,
So,
people could have bought thousands of these. Actually, this is the newest version of the Little Red Book, by the way. A lot different than the previous versions. Well, somewhat lot different. Self-help book, you know? And by the way, this is not just this thing here, and I mean to cut you off, Jim, but this thing here is not, you cross the text out when you're reading and put your own thoughts in it and then read it. Make it yours. Self-help. Go ahead, Jim.
yeah,
Finish
I mean,
off.
so it's like you just you pray, you say, how, I know that God loves me. How do I love myself? How can I do it? You just meditate on it, you pray about it, you read that book, it's like, have faith that if I buy that book, right? If I get that book, read it, I believe that I'm going to get better. And what, look at the direction that you're putting yourself in. You're going in the right direction. I mean, think about it. Think about it. Meditate on it. It's like staying away from this awful addiction. I'm thinking about this addiction, where it's taking me, you know, you know, I want to move away from it. It's the right thing to do. That's taking care of myself. It's taking care of other people. If you really think about that, if you pray about that, you know that you're moving in the right direction. That's the right way to go, and that should go ahead and fuel your motivation, you know, to take those steps necessary to fight the devil talking to you in the back of your mind. I think about that. I was thinking about when I was running. It's like, you know, saying hi to someone passing by, that's like an act of God right there. And you know what the devil says after you say it? Oh, you're stupid, you're dumb. He doesn't want to say hi. What are you doing? Saying hi, that's the devil talking right there. That's the demons talking to you, and you be aware of that, those stupid feelings that you get, right? And say, you know what? I am doing the right thing and I don't care. I don't care because that's the right thing to do. That's the right thing to do. So if you think about that, I mean, like those stupid feelings that you get, right? You can say, you know what, that's garbage. And you fight against that. You fight against that.
Yep, that's it. Be a winner. Be a brawler. Be a fighter. How do I get the Little Red Book, Gloria? You can go to soldiersofselfmastery.com right there. See the link below? Blowing across the screen. You can get it there, soldiersofselfmastery.com. There's also an audio version. So it's not just a read book. You can also listen to it. You can listen to it. It's good. Good. And we got another book that we're going to put on audio. So, folks, listen, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope you walked away with something, because if you didn't, you're wasting your time. I got to be honest, right? What good is it for me to sugarcoat and say, pat you on the back and your leg's broken? Come on, let's put that leg on a stretcher. Let's put a patch or whatever it is and fix it up. So 7 p.m. next Sunday, Lord willing, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here, YouTube. Make sure you're soldier subscribed. Please give me some likes, share the videos, do a comment here and there. Support this mission, I pray. So thank you for being with us. Some boxing moves. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Boxing moves there. No, I did a song last week. You didn't come. You weren't here last week. Remember? I do some singing. I do a little bit of singing once in a while.
Go to TikTok. Subscribe to Santos on TikTok.
You see me do some live karaoke there sometimes. By the way, come next Sunday, Sumaya, because I'm going to challenge you guys for the 7-day challenge. The next 7 day. Come on, guys, gals. Come on. 7 days, man. Today, if you gamble, day's number 1 today, or Monday, whatever it is, Monday. No gambling challenge, 7 days. If you can't go, listen, test your mind, test your emotional intelligence, test your spirit. If you can't do 7 days without gambling, you need to get some help. You need to get something, because unless you want to keep doing it and you're having fun, well, then if you're having fun, it doesn't matter. 7-day challenge, no good. Look at yourself. I'm doing it. I'm putting both hands in. I accept the challenge. All right. Something horrible can happen this week and knock me off kilter, throw my GPS, my internal GPS, off track. And who knows? Maybe it might try to set my internal GPS to go to the casino because some experience happened. No, 7 days, fight. Yeah, okay. So Titan slots. Let me see, make sure I got everybody. Titan slots here. Pedro, thank you for hanging out with us. Mark, Ken, thank you. Race, thank you for your input. Rice Goat, Sumaya, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. Natalie, good to see you. Laura, Mark, nice to see you guys. Gloria, let me see who else was here. Mark, there's quite a few out there on Facebook and LinkedIn also that work. Pedro, good to see you. Did I get Angela Jacobs? Nice to see you here. I think I got Ken Smith, didn't I? I might be repeating myself like that guy on Gangsters. They called him 5 times Tommy. I'm just kidding. Angela Jacobs, good to see you. The Science of Gambling, good to see you here. Hey, 7 p.m. next week, Sunday, Titan slots. I think we got everybody here that we wanted to address here. Make sure. Barry Bob. Oh, okay, Barry Bob came to visit. And I think that's it. Hey, Jim, thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you, man. Be safe this week. And Lord willing, hey, let's take some good risks.
Good risks. That's right. The best is yet to come, Santos. You have a great week. Take care.
Pray, guy. Fight. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Peace, restraint.